Brooks, who's had not a bad day here himself. Dedrick Mills, I think, has been the story of the second half, certainly the offensive story as a whole for these Calgary Stampeders, as he's carried this squad a little bit and created some opportunities for teammates now as we get into the fourth.
Stampeders into the score zone once again with a 1st and 10 from the 15. And VA probably spent that entire quarter break talking things over with Pat Delmonico and Dave Dickinson. What do they come up with? They'll throw it to the outside, and one-on-one, it's cutting away from traffic. Eric Brooks, touchdown! Gabe Burness was asking Dwayne at halftime, where's Quick Six? There's your answer, coming to life.
Quick Six happy to get a little action here in the second half. Brendan Adams zips it in. Good awareness from Eric Brooks as the ball is approaching to recognize exactly what the defender is doing, kind of planning his escape move. That slip back inside.
Good draw. There you go.
Brooks from the Fresno State receiver factory. The likes of Keyshawn Johnson, Carrick Wheatfall here in the CFL as well. Showing that alma mater.
Yeah, big collision in behind the play with an official down here at McMahon Stadium as well right now. Was obviously focused on the tremendous move in the open field away from Robert Kennedy by Batman Eric Brooks, but I actually thought there was going to be a flag thrown in the background because I saw this huge explosion of bodies, but it was not player on player behind the play. It was incidental contact.
Oh my God.
And it is Ryan Lang, the field judge, who is somehow up onto his feet, taking a couple of deep breaths, because they don't wear pads. And he took the brunt of that one. But Eric Brooks, wonderful job cutting back inside and just reading the body language of Robert Kennedy as well, as the extra point ready to follow here. And very similar to the matchup between these two teams last week. The margin is narrowed once again. The Stampeders trying to climb up over the top of that 10-point barrier right now. It still rests at 11.
We'll take a look at that latest Calgary Stampeder scoring drive. No surprise to see who starts it off. Dedrick Mills with a big run. Brendan Adams chipping in with the legs to keep that drive moving. And Eric Brooks with a couple of big plays along the way, including the score.
Brooks paying dividends, given a larger role in the offense. For the Calgary Stampeders, they certainly needed someone to step up with Reggie Begelton still out. And Brooks on the roster. I wonder what the conversations were like, probably in-house, whether it be throughout the winter, getting an idea that Begelton wouldn't be ready for training camp. Of, do we go get a guy? Do we need to allocate a little bit of money in free agency here outside of Dejon Brissett, who obviously they brought in from the Toronto Argonauts? And I wonder whether or not Brooks said, guys, I can just be a receiver for you.
Yeah.
Give me a chance.
Yeah, definitely made contributions, big strides for him a year ago that I think created some faith for the organization that he was ready for a bigger role, but a receiving group that's taken some hits over the last couple of years.
Ragatani will hang this one high into the Calgary air. It bounces, tried to be fielded by Jacob Mason, then he has to jump on top. Make sure it doesn't get away. It was actually Liam Talbot, now the rookie out of Windsor, getting involved in special teams.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe a little uncertainty at first as to who was going to take that ball.
From the Invitational Combine, I believe, correct, Dwayne, from this year, Liam Talbot?
Yeah, worked his way into the main combine and into the draft.
With some banged up bodies in that running back room. for the Alouettes gets an opportunity. Listed today as the backup to Travis Tice and playing on special teams as well. We'll go back to Tice, who gets pulled backwards. The end of that one, Markel Lee. You wondered about conditioning and being under the weather and the heat. I mean, we can feel it up here in the booth. It is scorching. Anybody who's in the stands right now is just absolutely cooking. And yet there is Markel Lee still play after play after play, getting the job done.
And perhaps getting stronger as this game continues to unfold, leading the Calgary Stampeders in tackles coming in. This is a guy that the Stamps missed after he went down early last season.
Sunscreen at a premium here in Calgary today. Alexander scorching hot. And maybe too much pace. The rare drop for Tayson Philpott.
Philpott working from outside. Change up in formation, allowing him to use his waggle. But couldn't squeeze that one. So he let it get into his body there as it bounces off the shoulder pads.
The margin of error smaller and smaller as Calgary gains some momentum, and all it takes is a drop. And Calgary gets possession back. It is a spicy one here in southern Alberta. After a punt of 60 yards, Vernon Adams Jr. ready to turn up the heat on Montreal's defense when we return. On some history of his own, as we've seen Davis Alexander have the attempts consecutively without an interception. This is VA, most touchdowns thrown to kickoff a year without an interception. Again, clean sheet for the both of them. The only two starting quarterbacks remaining here in 2026 in the Canadian Football League to be able to say they have a 0 on the interception column as VA takes a big hit that time right down Main Street. Was that Nate Boschman? They sent the free safety yet again, and Vernon taking a couple of deep breaths after that one. You can hear the pop from all the way up here.
Well, I love this one from a pure football play, but you're going to see Nate Boschman come from the bottom left corner of your screen, full tilt. VA can see him like he is coming directly at him. He's right in his sight line, so he knows he's going to get absolutely blasted, but he's got to stand in long enough for his receiver to get open to make that throw, and he does it.
Toughness not in question from Vernon Adams Jr. on that snap. VA rips this one to the outside. Clark Barnes. And flipped out of bounds. A flag will fly. Lorenzo Burns on that corner. Decided to go full suplex, and that'll draw laundry every time.
And again, defender sitting off a little bit. Yeah, just that risk. Kind of slamming a relatively defenseless player on the back of their head. I know Burns is, he's just...
roughness. Montreal number 20. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So big change in field position here. Calgary continues to go downhill. And Noel Thorpe watches on with his defense. Suddenly on their heels just a little bit. Gain of 23 after you factor in the penalty yardage. Alouettes late to the line of scrimmage. Flat line. And they send everybody, and this one skips. It could have been backwards. And a live play, but thankfully for the Stampeders, they'll just call it incomplete.
Yeah, again, Najee Murray coming free off the edge on this one. Right in VA's face. He knows he's got to zip it. And really, the adjustment is he's kind of getting that one under Murray's arms, which results in the low trajectory. The one hopper.
Stampeders were 1 of 8 on second down conversions. In this half, 7 of 7. Moving the sticks in this situation. VA knocked away. And Wesley Sutton responsible for the ending of that 100% second down conversion stat line.
Yeah, the pressure package gets it done for Montreal here in the pitch, with the Stampeders starting to develop a little bit of momentum. You know, and one from a pass protection perspective, if you're Dedrick Mills, the running back on that one, ideally, I know he's checking things inside out, but you may want to take that one on closer to the line to prevent that defender from impacting the throw.
Pressure was coming on the kick, but it is away. And big special teams tackling seems to always be on the play. Keelan Thomas, CJFLer, as the big knockdown from Wesley Sutton. Clark Barnes was open, had a chance. 40% off Crave with a premium annual plan. Did you get it?
40% off.
Yeah.
Bargain.
Davis Alexander leading 29-18. The Alouettes passing attack. In rhythm, looking down the field here, and a great move on the route, making everything happen as Tyler Snead, as Anthony Johnson goes ripping at the football, almost got it out. But Tyler Snead, the nuances with the way he runs his routes, it's like 3 routes combined into one here, Dwayne.
Yeah, he is smooth and shifty, and definitely suggesting that he is taking his yards after catch bet with Tyson Philpott very seriously. No thought of going out of bounds. He's just running through defenders.
It reminds me of like the old Madden games where you could create your own custom routes. You go, I'm going to run a slant and then up and then out and then up, and then it's like 7 things tied to. How are you supposed to defend that?
Yeah, I'm more of the super techno bullshit.
Just pound the rock with Bo. And now Montreal goes back to the ground attack. Inside the 35. And Travis Tice controlling the clock here, leading by 11.
Travis Tice would have been pretty good in Super Tecmo Bowl. People bouncing off him, fighting through. The offensive line does a nice job of keeping him pretty clean to the second level on this one. Getting bodies on bodies at the line of scrimmage there.
Calgary's defense on their heels once again. Mustafa Johnson just coming out of the injury tent on the Montreal sideline as well, so getting looked at over there. Keep an eye on that for you. Difference maker in the middle of that Alouettes defense, but it's the ground attack of Travis Tice. And it is playing the lead right now as a flag flies, and looks like, was it a face mask? Awkward tackle. Tice popped up onto his feet, but got a hand up high.
Looked like Rimawade, the primary tackler here. Defensive end doing a good job staying at home, but
the Stampede's over.
A little rodeo tackle there. Horse collar.
Major foul, horse collar. Calgary number 90, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Miles Brown, who's still being blocked, and just grabbing, trying to get a piece of something. And he got the wrong something.
Also, side note, you know how strong you have to be to just make Travis Tice stop in his tracks with one hand on the back of a jersey? I get it's a penalty, but my goodness. Greg Dickinson talks it over with Brown on the sideline. Fresh set of downs for the Alouettes inside the 20. Watches on as once again Tice slammed down with a minimal gain, but the aerial attack of Davis Alexander. Their social media accounts for the Alouettes said this week, all these people are saying, who is him? Everybody's saying, I'm him. Who is him? And they said, well, that's him. Yeah. That's the guy, right? 6 games in a row to start the season, 300 plus.
Well, you heard them in studio earlier today having a discussion about where Davis Alexander ranks among current CFL quarterbacks, and yeah, he's good at football. He's pretty good at football.
He is the guy right now, trying to lock down another victory with a big play here late on, is cutting back on the check down. Jacob Mason already had that 34-yard gain earlier on in this ball game. A helmet came off as well for a player in the offensive backfield.
Holding Montreal number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
The calendar.
Just he's losing his man inside there.
So the reliable left tackle from the Alouettes sets them back 2nd and 19. Late substitution, Jacob Mason, who just had the catch, fullback, goes to the sidelines. Spread it out, see if Davis Alexander can add to his 300-plus tally here in week 7. They set up a screen underneath and almost intercepted. Calgary's defense did a tremendous job of making that as messy as possible.
Well, bending but not breaking. On this drive, you'll see Montreal. Quick block and swat, set the blockers up out to the left, but they were all over Travis Tice, ensuring that that one wasn't going to come to fruition.
Derek Moncrief might have had the best opportunity at it. As soon as that Alouettes offensive line gives a swim and tries to get upfield, those defensive linemen from the Stampeders are wise to it. Creates the incompletion and a field goal for Jose Maltos Diaz. As that one, an important stop for the Calgary Stampeders. George Idoko got a hand up, and Moncrief all over it. Keeps away the score, 32-18. Catch the game, of course, live on TSN is nearly intercepted. Vernon Adams Jr. somehow still sitting with a 0 in that interception column, but Robert Kennedy was on that one.
And we're kind of getting to that point in the game as I've been all about Dedrick Mills and the Calgary run game to this point, but now less than half a quarter remaining. That becomes a less likely option for the Stampeders, down by 2 touchdowns.
I haven't said Jalen Philpott's name in just a little bit as Adams climbs the pocket, takes a big hit as he throws down the middle, incomplete, and flags fly in front of the Montreal bench.
Yeah, the flag was late. I was actually surprised not to see one come up right away.
VA's taken some huge hits today.
You see Vernon Adams once again as he steps up, takes a shot. Isaac Anaheim, Berglund, Brissett coming out of the slot. He's the 3 receiver on this one. Going vertical, and watch, you'll see him kind of get obstructed a little bit. You see the left arm of Boschman come out just before the ball arrives.
Pass interference, Montreal number 23. Spot of the foul, automatic first down.
A big flip in field position here in favor of the Calgary Stampeders. Again, trailing 32-18 midway through the 4th quarter. And they've been such a 4th quarter
Previous play
team.
is under review by the replay center.
Heavy tendency to sort things through later in games. Slow starters for much of this season so far. As Dejon Brissett, you see the one-on-one there that the replay center will take a closer look at with Boschman.
Yeah, and I felt like on this play it wasn't so much the timing of him kind of tackling the receiver as the ball arrived, but I thought there was maybe a little bit of a grab on the hip earlier. And perhaps apparently taking a look at the hit on the quarterback to see if there's something else here.
Well, everything getting a bit of a look right now is the play under review.
After automatic review by the replay center, we have a roughing the passer call on Montreal 44. We'll go up another 15 yards, first down.
Wow. Well, this chunk doesn't hurt in terms of penalties when you're trying to overcome the clock and the deficit. So watch, coming from the right side of your screen is Guidry.
Oof.
And threw a little bit of a flipper there, catching Adams' face mask with his elbow. Good detection from the officials.
No doubt. Football operations. If you're taking a look at that, you have to think on Monday. Trying to keep quarterbacks safe and in the game, how valuable they are. We've obviously seen with the Hamilton Tiger Cats with Bo Levi Mitchell down. And Zach Collaros as well with Taylor Elgersma and then Drew Brown. So I understand the importance of Vernon Adams Jr. on the field in one piece. I also understand that Dedrick Mills is an unstoppable force, especially on second and medium.
As I had started to say earlier in this drive about half a field and penalties ago, Dedrick Mills less of an option. But when you get that chunk of yardage without taking time off the clock, suddenly you're back to option one.
Calgary goes quick, in a rhythm. The Stampeders offense is here. VA looks to throw, kind of hooks it around his running back and offensive line. Well, those arm angles you're not going to teach, but sometimes you need.
Yeah, when that throwing lane is obstructed, you need to adjust. VA does it well. Jean Brissett. This is his territory. 4 touchdowns in his last couple of outings.
VA into the end zone. Open receiver. Touchdown. Jalen Philpott.
We're not done. We're not done. We got time.
We're not done. We got time, says Jalen Philpott after the 5-yard touchdown reception.
Now let's take a look at this one. They get things protected. Well, nice pickup by Dedrick Mills. Jalen Philpott wide open in that corner of the end zone. We'll call that Philpott corner as the family is in the stands down in that territory.
The best seat in the house. Watch Jalen add to his career tally. Another touchdown on the books. 6 plays, 70 yards. And it ends just like that.
Happy dad. Both the boys playing well.
It'll be a pretty special feeling to watch them not just be in a game, but be playing at a high level. And coming up on 100 yards receiving as well. If this game keeps going back and forth in the final 4:35, you got to think Jalen might get to that spot as Tyson already prepped to get back on the field, add to his stat line on the day as well. I can't imagine what the discussions are like, whether it's the Ford twins, the Philpotts. Like you go home, you try to have dinner, and somebody brings up one play from one game, and you're like, well, yeah, but I saw that from this game and this team, and then it's like the conversation would be never ending, especially when you play the same position for 2 different teams.
Well, you throw Dad Corey into the mix.
Right.
There's a whole lot of games getting talked about.
Dialogue is endless, and maybe that helps add to their experiences. Liam Talbot fumbling around with the football deep in his own end, wrapped up and thrown down with a flag out.
Illegal block. Montreal number 29. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
We'll see that. The lead blocks just in front of returner Liam Talbot.
Anyway, Mario Alford was blocking back towards his own goal line, and he's the one that gets caught. That ball at the 5-yard line, and a single score game. Somehow, some way, after the 22-0 opening for the Montreal Alouettes, similar to Edmonton, BC last night, where the Lions had an opportunity despite 4 interceptions from Chase Bryce. to win the football game. Edmonton held on in that one. And Calgary trying to protect their home field here with a victory. But flags fly on first down.
Offside. Montreal number 6. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Jalen gets the touchdown and Tyson gets the penalty.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders, with this game as close as it has been since early on. Well, I know again off air, Marsh, you and I discussed Calgary's propensity for the dramatic endings, close finishes this season. A stop here, and they're setting themselves up pretty well for yet another one of those.
A bit of a warrior afternoon from Vernon Adams Jr. You know he's just licking his chops if they can get a stop. Alexander flushed over the pocket, pressure on. Pumps, takes a hit from 2 or 3 Stampeders, and he's short of the sticks. Alexander fired up onto his feet.
Well, Davis Alexander recognizing.
Timeout, Calgary. Can we put 3 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock?
You know, we talk about Vernon Adams and that sacrifice, right? Davis Alexander recognizing that if he goes down with the first tackler, it's a punt.
Yeah.
And Calgary's got the ball probably on your side of the field. Fighting through. We're going for it on third down. Dustin Crum splits out.
This is Travis Tice under center. Bit of a botch snap deep in their own end. There wasn't much push up front. The Stampeders are convinced. And with Tice going under center, it looked like the center got blown right off the football. Get a better look at it here for you. What timing in the middle. Is that Miles Brown?
Absolutely exploding. Disrupting that play. Great effort by Tyso as you saw the legs driving. He managed to recover from that.
On the short yardage play.
Maybe with Tice being the running back, Miles Brown able to jump the cadence, knowing there's not going to be a lot of nuance to it.
Oh, terrific anticipation as you saw how perfect his timing was and how far ahead of everyone else, including the O-line, he was on that play.
Well, hang on now. It looked like it was going to be good based on the spot, but now they have to reset the chains, pull them tight, and just that much. What a stop by the Stampeders. Montreal goes for it deep in their own end. And the red and white have life.
Defensive play. And Miles Brown at the center of it. Dave Dickinson on the sidelines. D coordinator Bob Slowick up above.
Challenge flag is out, Dwayne, from Jason Moss, it looks like, on the spot. Or is he looking for the offside in?
Montreal is challenging the spot of the ball. We'll review the play.
Well, this is a tough one to overturn. They're going to have to break down every millimeter of this film. It's amazing that Tice even got the football.
Well, and that he's still on his feet by the time he moves over a gap, given that he's got the center and the defensive tackle blasting forward into his feet.
This will likely be best look at it again. Incredible appreciation for Brown, just blowing up the play.
Anticipating the snap count.
But where do you put this football when you've already spotted? I mean, the leg's driving there, but when was the whistle? When was the play dead? When was forward momentum stopped? When was the play over? One of the more difficult things to overturn, to assess in the postmortem.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Calgary. Montreal has charged their first timeout.
And something of a gift for the Calgary Stampeders here in terms of the ball on the 15-yard line. 3 minutes to work with.
Now, the objective, of course, has to be to finish with a touchdown, not a field goal. As VA flips it out, Dietrich Mills running free, touchdown Stamps! On a one-play, 15-yard touchdown drive after Miles Brown blows up the third down short yardage sneak.
Turnover happens, go straight for the throat. Vernon Adams, Dietrich Mills. Mills coming across the formation. Looks like he's going to be a blocker, but slips out into the flat. Coverage is late getting to him, and he is off to the races.
Mills almost took those kids' arms off. Swinging for the high fives.
That's how you do it.
The extra point slides through the uprights here at McMahon Stadium. 2:52 remaining. Well, it was a close game last week. It was over 30 points for both teams. Oh, look, they played again. We got a close game down the stretch, and they're both over 30 points yet again. Travis Tice, Mario Alford back is Alford miscommunicates, and Montreal falling apart in their own end late in the fourth as Alford gets blown up by Keelan Thomas.
Well, when you look at the fourth quarter of this football game, challenges on their kickoff return team created a little bit of this situation, right? Some miscommunication, mishandling of the football on the last kickoff as Liam Talbot couldn't handle the rock. Had Montreal backed up, they turn over the football, Calgary scores. Notice Talbot's not out there.
Yep.
This time, Tice is back there with Alford. The miscommunication continues, and here we go again.
4-1 Montreal Alouettes in total control of this game in the first half. And now deep in their own end with Davis Alexander trying to rediscover some of that endless rhythm and pace that he had to the game in the first half that's faded here as special teams struggled. The defense can't get a stop.
Yeah, I think just desperately looking to calm the ship a little bit is Davis Alexander in this instance. Particularly coming out of the gate with a run play to Tice.
Alexander fading to his left, now has to go back right. Armstrong looks just fine as DA heads towards the sideline. Flags are down in the defensive secondary as well.
Yeah, given the territory, you kind of suspect illegal contact.
Illegal contact, Calgary number 44. 10-yard penalty. The result is a first down.
Anthony Johnson has the flag go against him. Big collision there. Off to the right flats, and Davis Alexander can play quarterback and officiate.
I mean, what's interesting about this, when we talked on a previous Davis Alexander scramble about fighting through tackles, that one he takes a 90-degree turn for the sidelines because he has seen the flag. He knows he doesn't need to run and take a hit.
This one off the hands of Tyson Philpott. Handcuffed him a little bit, low and away maybe, Dwayne, but regardless, they needed that one isolated on a slant against Adrian Green.
Yeah, and he got a good release off the line, a little bit of immediate separation there. You see Green off the ball a little bit, but just unable to pull it in.
32-32. Second and 10. From their own end, not wanting to give the red-hot Stampeders offense the football back. Alexander extends the play, then finds Tice. as Alexander goes to rip his running back out to the home team side.
A fortunate escape here as you're going to see a twist inside. No one really loops back to the outside to protect. That's what allows Davis Alexander to escape. Clarence Hicks was on a twist inside, but no one replaced him and contained. Alexander then able to find Tice, who scoots for the first.
Bit banged up after sliding into the Calgary sideline. So Tice heads to the bench for it now. Drop down. Nice and Philpott getting a little jet sweep around the corner and hacked down at the 55. But a first down on first down, and it counts as more passing yards for Davis Alexander.
And the rookie Liam Talbot comes into the ballgame in place of Travis Tice. Does a terrific job here as the lead blocker as they put the ball into the hands of Tyson Philpott. Kick out there on the corner, Johnson, to allow Philpott to turn it up.
And Alexander taking a second at the end of that play when the tackle was made, kind of squatted down on the field. Not sure if he was catching his breath or the heat starting to get to him. The intensity obviously ratcheting up. You know the heart rate's going. But he took a moment to himself, gathers, called the play in the huddle, and then rifles this one. And Tyler Steve's got two defenders all over him, Anthony Johnson and Damon Webb.
Man, this one was almost like a naked slip screen. Blocker free. This ball gets out there in a hurry. You saw it, running back and offensive lineman kind of sprinting out there late, but they weren't going to be there in time to block anybody.
To your point from earlier, they had the heavy set in. Jacob Mason, the extra offensive lineman, then just rip it. Well, then you go back to the tight end look, but more 5 receiver set. There you go. They'll split Cole Speaker out wide. 3-man rush. Alexander finds the window and throws a strike. Kasim Ferdinand with his first of the day in a big spot.
Yeah, clutch moment here for Ferdinand. Yeah, find that window. Sit it down. A well-placed ball there for Davis Alexander. Nice job by Ferdinand to go get it.
Crowd noise into it here at McMahon Stadium. Alexander drops it down, handoff. Tice bounces off 2 tacklers, and another blocker out in front is Speaker as Tice will rumble. Yards after contact.
Timeout, Calgary. Timeout, Calgary.
That time, 17 big ones, and let's see where the first touch happens on number 5.
Yeah, Travis Tice channeling some of his first half power running here at a critical time for the Montreal Alouettes. Now after a fourth quarter that has been all Calgary Stampeders, a terrific response drive from the Montreal Alouettes in the face of adversity.
And a lot of hands on hips in that Calgary secondary and defensive line right now. Tice and the big bodies for Montreal, the physicality starting to wear on the Stamps up front. And playbook wide open here for Davis Alexander. Fresh set of downs at the Calgary 27. Alexander pulls it, looks to throw. Wide open receiver into the end zone. Touchdown Montreal. Kasim Ferdinand.
Alexander with the escape to buy time. Ferdinand, we hadn't called his name in this veteran Alouette receiving corps all game, but comes up with 2 absolutely critical plays here in the game's final minutes. And a big go-ahead touchdown for the Montreal Alouettes. Crushing blow for the Calgary Stampeders with 1:04 on the clock.
9 plays, 96 yards. As the extra point, a line drive, and it will not go through. Well, that guy that had his head in his hands don't go anywhere.
You're going to see Ferdinand coming from the slot. And as this play kind of is breaking down at the line of scrimmage, Ferdinand's just going to slip across the field. You saw Damon Webb kind of pointed at him and then tried to chase him as if he anticipated somebody else being there. There's a bust on the back end. There's absolutely nobody else. Basically from the middle of the field over, nobody else there on the back end. So a miscommunication, missed assignment, whatever you want to label it as, comes at a critical time. And Kasim Ferdinand and Davis Alexander make the Calgary Stampeders pay.
Saw Baron Miles leave down on the sidelines as they came off after the extra point, talking to Anthony Johnson on the play. Johnson looked extremely frustrated. Damon Webb obviously frustrated, so they're debriefing that right now over on the Stamps sideline, trying to sort out exactly what went wrong. But the more important note in the moment is, can Vernon Adams Jr. create another memorable moment here at home? This kick goes over the head, and it skips through the end zone. Not a point. As Vernon warms up that right arm and takes to the field one more time.
He's had a big fourth quarter. The Calgary Stampeders have had a knack for some strong finishes here in 2026. Maybe not ultimately having games come out in their favor, but we'll see what Vernon Adams has up his sleeve here.
DA looks left all the way, then just tries to check this one down. One-handed grab by Dietrich Mills, and a first down on first down. And with those 3 touchdown passes as well in this ball game, Vernon Adams Jr. has tied Ricky Ray for touchdowns to start a season without an interception. He's got 17 now, with 0 in the INT column as Dietrich Mills churning the legs. Ground or air, he gets yards. He's done plenty of that today. 1st and 10. Vernon will sling this one off balance. And again, it's Mills on a check down, and he refuses to be tackled. 41 seconds remaining, and already in Montreal territory.
This is a massive effort by Dietrich Mills to go get this first down. So you're kind of thinking when he catches this, when he's got a defender in front of him, maybe he's going to head for the sidelines and try and get the clock stopped. But picks up that first down and critical yardage on the play.
Missed extra point. Now seeming very large, especially if they can continue driving the field like this. Pitch and catch, Jalen Philpott.
You'll see Philpott out of the slot. No surprise. Mills and Philpott getting it done here. Deep route on the outside. Takes the corner away. Creates a little bit of space for that out to Philpott. Valuable clock stoppage for the Calgary offense.
Jalen Philpott creeps ever closer to that 100-yard receiving mark. Vernon against a 4-man rush, high and away. Incomplete, looking for Tevin Jones with Wesley Sutton there in coverage. 2nd and 10.
They're playing 3-down football. Got the clock stopped with the incompletion. No sack, no loss of yards. Obviously not ideal, but in the circumstance, you'll take it in terms of managing this situation for the Calgary Stampeders.
Massive spot here for Vernon Adams Jr. and the Calgary Stampeders offense. They traded for him. It was moments like this. They wanted him at the controls. Trailing by 6, 28 seconds remaining. It's a deep drop for VA. Looks over the middle, pass is knocked down. 3rd and 10 upcoming.
Well, that push from the Montreal defensive line. We'll see at Amy Berglund, the former Calgary Stampeder, first-round pick, takes the inside rush. You know, and there is no cue there for the tackle. A lot of times if you have someone else pushing out, a D-tackle pushing out, you anticipate the loop. He didn't there.
Yeah, look down the middle, comes back to the right, rips it, Brooks makes the grab, pops loose, and the Alouettes are on it.
A huge break here for the Montreal Alouettes. Quick recognition from Vernon Adams. Hits Brooks, he secures it. You see him bring it to the body, try to turn. And that's when that ball gets popped out. His arm pulled back on the tackle. Watch for it here from Hicks. Comes in, rips that right arm away from the football. Pops it free. The veteran Najee Murray with the recovery to seal the win for Montreal.
A similar script, almost identical stat line as well. So last week, as Jason Moss gets a chance to celebrate, and Davis Alexander, his lone loss on the season, coming in Edmonton in overtime. This time, same province, different results. Was staring down the barrel, Dwayne, of overtime yet again against the Stampeders, but the defense makes the game-changing play.
Yeah, came up huge at a big time when they had a tough go of it, obviously, in the fourth quarter of this football game. Yeah, I think part of the story for the Calgary Stampeders, you look at their season as a big picture, and they've got to be thrilled with the fight in their ball club, that nothing has been insurmountable for them this season. But they're not coming out with as many wins as they would like in close games. They played close games every week, but not getting the victories.
Battle-tested certainly are the Calgary Stampeders, but a couple of them left on the table as it stands right now. The Philpott brothers did their thing, get a chance to chat things over as we send it back to Kate and the panel, who will discuss an entertaining Week 7 throwdown here in Calgary. Thanks for watching.